Welcome to SEO's Light. Hello. I remember this one time in middle school, I was with my friend and we were shitting around on the Chromebooks, you know, as one does in middle school, never actually doing our work. And we were prompted to log into something. I'm not really sure what we were logging into, but it was something. It was something for sure. And then, like the absolute superhuman that I am, I started entering my password for my main email in the username box. So when my friend looked over at my computer to see if I was logging in, he got a real nice eyeful of my most important password. And you know, when you see sensitive information like that, you know, your first thought isn't to just shout it out to the whole class, you know? It's what you would think. It's what you think your first thought is. That's exactly what he did. Whole class. We were at we were at the back of the class. We were like playing games on the computer, and all of a sudden he shouted, Password? Unfucking believable. To be fair, it's a kind of a silly password, so I understand his bewilderment, but man, come on, man. I'm trying not to get hacked. Anyway, side story over. Main topic of the video is everything turns into a sandbox, you know? It all comes back to sandbox. I kind of think that, oddly, the natural evolution of most video games is usually turning into a sandbox. And I mean, there are some games that start out as sandboxes. So, obviously, yeah, you're gonna turn those into sandboxes, but when did Forza become a sandbox? When did that happen? That game has a whole ass world map. When did that happen? I think that's been happening. I'm pretty sure. But you know, all roads lead to a sandbox video game. One way or another, you're gonna have to let go of the restraints on the players and just let them do whatever the hell they want. You know, for better or for worse. You could, I think, make an argument that, The Legend of Zelda is kind of a sandbox. Or, it started out as a sandbox. But a lot of the games after the first Zelda are just pretty, straightforward. They're pretty linear, aside from, an entry here or there. Aside from Wind Waker, maybe. Actually, this is a bad example. Zelda has been sandbox for quite a while. What is the definition of sandbox game? Am I using this right? Okay, so I just googled the definition of sandbox game. I think Forza is an open world game, and same thing with The Legend of Zelda. Those are open world. But Tears of the Kingdom was pretty sandboxy. I'm gonna be kind of honest. It was pretty sandbox-esque. I mean, the tools that they give you to, mess around with the world is, I would say that's pretty sandbox-esque. But sandbox, open worlds, whatever angle you want to take, I guess, most video games end up evolving into one or the other, a sandbox or an open world game. Because, I mean, realistically, where else can you take a series after you've reached a certain point? Eventually you're going to run out of things to do or things to make. As weird as that sounds, you're going to run out of ideas eventually. I guess it's just a matter of when. And then, I guess, you know, you just let the players make the ideas at that point. There's franchises like Super Mario that have gone a long way with a lot of original things, but then eventually you end up at Mario Maker. Mario Maker gets made. And, it's not a bad thing that Mario Maker gets made. I think it's just rather interesting that the final stop of any video game is to make, a sandbox or an open world. Because I think the main problem is you can't really expect yourself or any team of developers and programmers to really have every idea imaginable. That's not going to be the case a lot of the time. So at that point, you might as well just leave it to the players to decide how they want to make their game. I don't know. That's just my thoughts. I made a nice little basement suite, and I'm gonna put a witch's brew in the center of it all. It'll really bring together the ominous cobblestone wall vibe, you know? It'll bring all of that together. Anyways, I hope you're doing all right, and I will chat with you later. Bye bye.